Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I'm doing this one for me. See, normally I'm the advocate of the devil, but this week he's decided to turn a blind eye at the goings-on of this here internet show and allowed me to talk about whatever I want. And while yes, that is exactly what I always do anyways, sometimes it's good to look at the core of what this show has always been about. My opinions. What I like. Specifically, what I like that others may not, or at least may never have experienced for themselves. For some, the game Nier Automata came out of nowhere, surprised us all with a glorious battle system and the kind of story that truly can convince the larger public that gaming can in fact be labeled as art. For me, the only surprise was that the battle system was good. Wanna know why? The director, Yoko Taro. If I know that that man is involved in some way, I know the game is gonna be something unique. Something no other game company or publisher or director can accomplish. No, not even Hideo Kojima. Although I still want to know what Silent Hills could have been. The point is, Nier Automata may have been the game that made everyone take notice. For me, it was more of an ending of well, no, not an ending, a success. Finally. And as a man who loves a good story, I'm gonna take you on a journey to the humble beginnings of Yoko Taro. Today, I'm defending, nay, celebrating Dragon Dragoon, aka the very first Drakengard. Drakengard 1. It's awesome. It's also horrible. And it's horrible in a totally awesome way. Let me explain. Every character is some degree of crazy train. Our main character is a vicious, remorseless murderer. The goddess, guardian of the seals, is his sister. Her future husband is super duper jealous of our hero because the goddess is in love with him. Her brother. Incest is best, right?
Can you sense your sister's thoughts? The passions of her soul?
Then we have our allies. We have Ariosh, who wants to eat babies. Leonard, who is a pedophile. As you progress throughout the storyline, your enemies get even more screwed up. You fight giant, flying, naked babies! My first point in favor of this series is exactly that. The game isn't afraid to tackle taboo subject matters that most forms of media never do. The idea that these are the characters that we're following, that our heroes aren't even close to heroic. Now, sometimes in a movie or game, we get a character who is more of a shade of gray than anything else. Sure, they may do bad things, but they aren't necessarily bad people.
And I say, Zangief, you are bad guy. But this does not mean you're bad guy.
And since we're following them, since they're the characters that we're seeing firsthand and following their goings-on, well, we never want to see ourselves as bad people, so why would we want to follow bad people? This game turns that normal convention completely on its head. We follow monsters who walk around on two legs, and wings if we count the dragon. We follow contemptible people. That actually leads me to my second point. Using gameplay to help tell a story. It's something that literally only video games can do. You aren't just watching people committing murder on a large genocidal scale. You're directly responsible for your character's actions in a video game. Within the game's 5 endings, only the first one could really be seen as happy or positive in any way. Bad guys are defeated, hero stands triumphant, and yet there are so many loose ends and plot threads that seemed, at least from my eyes, unfinished, that you feel compelled to keep playing to see what else is going on. And in a move that I think is unique to this game alone, the further you get, the more you accomplish, the worse things actually get.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.
In another subversion of video game norms, your reward for completing the game, for acquiring every weapon and exploring every nook and cranny that this game has to offer, the final ending is actually the worst one. The game is designed kind of like a Dynasty Warriors Light. You have one guy against an unstoppable horde. The director himself has gone on record stating that, how can there be a happy ending for a character whose sole purpose is killing everything in sight? And the last boss isn't even done in the same style that we've been playing all along. Instead, it's a giant monstrous statue that shoots either black or white rings at you in a rhythm game style. One missed shot, and you gotta restart the entire thing. My favorite thing about not only this game, but the entire series is just how different it all is. A vision that is uniquely Taro's own, and it's what allowed for multiple timelines. Specifically the one how the worst ending, the last ending that their first game leads to one of my favorite games of all time, Nier. And now, we have two separate game series that link together. And while the repetitive nature of Drakengard may be a huge turnoff for a lot of people, Nier, the original, is a game that truly needs to be experienced. The soundtrack, the story, all on a whole other level. There's nothing in gaming that I have ever played that has shown me a fraction of what Nier has. And the music is absolutely amazing. Critics, of course, scrutinize Nier, once again, smacking things around, and combat was less than stellar. And now, instead of just being one genre, it spans multiple different styles of gameplay. There are parts that are bullet hell shooter. There's even a part that's a text adventure. Regardless of how well the battle system was received, even the game's most critical detractors still gave high praise to the storytelling and the music, which is among some of gaming's best of all time. Without Nier becoming a cult classic, we never would have gotten Nier Automata, arguably one of the best games of 2017. And without Drakengard, for all its weirdness, we never would have gotten a series that I can proudly list as amongst my top 5 of all time. Despite overwhelming evidence and lackluster sales proving otherwise, I do hope I managed to shed some light into why Project Dragonsphere should be considered a classic, and why Yoko Taro is in my mind one of gaming's finest storytellers. Whether it be in characters that just don't ever get shown in present-day media, even as antagonists, let alone the people we're actually rooting for, or in the way that regular gaming styles just don't seem to fit into this irregular world, Yoko Taro's games have always offered a unique spin on the tropes and tales we are oh so very used to. And if nothing else, without this incredibly messed up first game, we wouldn't have things like Nier Automata shocking the masses. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for a new piece of my mind every Wednesday. Hell, while you're here, take a look around and let me know what you think of my attempt at a playthrough of Nier on our couch co-op series. Maybe one day we'll get around to actually playing the damn thing. And most importantly, let us know in the comments below what you think. Is there a game or series that you love but just doesn't get enough attention? Bring it to mine and I just may make an episode about it. Or maybe you think I'm as batshit insane as the protagonist of Drakengard. You know what? Just let your own views clash with my own. That way I can proceed to prove you wrong.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
But for now, in the case of Drakengard number 1, the defense rests.
Mr. Taylor,
The bloody... I thought you were on vacation!
I am everywhere and nowhere, just like your opinions.
Thank you. Glad to see I have a fan.
Not a compliment. Anyways, I'm back. And you've had your fun. I miss your Star Wars episodes. Do another one of those next time.
Another one? But boss, this isn't a Star Wars channel. Boss? God damn it, why do you always do that?